Everton Football Club survived relegation by the skin of their teeth for the second consecutive season, narrowly beating out Leeds United and Leicester City on the final day with a 1-0 win over Bournemouth. Looking destined for the Championship during 2022, their fortunes turned for the better with the hiring of Sean Dyche, who took over from previous manager Frank Lampard in late January, with the club languishing in 19th place. The second half of the season was hardly a cakewalk for Dyche as he took 21 points from the remaining 18 games, placing them 15th in the table from February onwards. Despite subpar results, the defensive structure and increased work rate of the team was evident from his arrival and played a key part in the Toffees beating the drop. The performances were substantially better than under Lampard and even included some massive wins over high-flying Arsenal and Brighton. Now with half a season under his belt, Dyche will look to add a few new additions in order to fully implement his style of football on the blue half of Merseyside and kick on from last season. However, due to owner Farhad Moshiri and former director of football Marcel Brands' questionable spending over the previous years, Everton are extremely limited within the transfer window this summer, a burden that has fallen at the feet of the 52-year-old. So, how can Everton avoid the drop again? If we rewind the clock back 10 years, Everton had just finished 6th place in the Premier League, recording a 7th consecutive top 8 finish under manager David Moyes. Everton's financial situation limited how they could spend in the market, with their most expensive signing being Marouane Fellaini for £15 million from Standard Liège. However, Moyes managed to use a combination of physicality and finesse throughout the squad to create a unit that consistently punched above their weight throughout the late 2000s and early 2010s. Moyes and Dyche are stylistically similar to one another, making sure that their side is regimented, fit, and extremely physical. In the past, Moyes opted for a 4-2-3-1 at Everton, with Steven Pienaar and Leon Osman starting out wide. Two players Moyes coined as inverted wingers who were designed to play more centrally, and workhorse Marouane Fellaini, who would start in the 10 but would operate as both a second striker or another midfielder, with Everton often ending up in a 4-5-1. This is extremely similar to how Everton have played since the arrival of Sean Dyche, using Dwight McNeil and Alex Iwobi as these false wingers, combining them with the three of Onana, Doucouré and Gay, making a compact midfield that is very tough to break down. Dyche in the past has looked to play a mid-block, crowding the edge of the 18-yard box and attempting to limit opponents to shots from distance, while the majority of their attack would come from counter-attacks and set pieces, hence the need for an extremely physical and fit side. However, in order to play this kind of way, there needs to be the right personnel in the squad to execute the tactics. The goalkeeper needs to be an excellent shot stopper more than anything. There isn't necessarily a need to be technically gifted, as most passes are launched to the opposition final third. The defenders specifically need to be physically strong, defensively aware and most importantly brave, as the low block requires them to throw themselves at the ball, whether that be a header or a block, more so than making interceptions or tackling. The midfielders need to be extremely energetic, as they need to press to close down the opposition, but also have to be able to get to transition to the far end of the pitch quickly if a long ball is flicked on by one of the strikers. And finally, the forwards need to be good in the air to win 50-50 battles, as well as being a threat from set pieces. But most of all, they have to be clinical, as the number of chances generally created by this style of play is quite low. Most importantly, when playing the mid to low block, the focus of each player needs to be extremely high at all times, as a lapse in concentration for just a moment could mean pressing slightly later, allowing a pass to break the lines or a shot allowed at goal. Due to their unfortunate financial circumstances, Everton's transfer team targeted low-risk assets in order to improve their squad. 38-year-old Ashley Young offers experience whilst being a serviceable backup to Mikalenko. Jack Harrison is a Premier League proven player that can play in a multitude of positions and has recorded 21 goals in 3 seasons in the top flight. Anwar Danjuma has been loaned in to replace injured talisman Dwight McNeil, and with Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injury woes and Neil Maupay missing the mark in his first year, £15 million have been forked out for Portuguese youngster Youssef Chermiti, which concluded their summer signings before the start of the season. But due to their poor start to the season, in which they scored no goals in the first 3 games, a drastic signing needed to be made, and the club have completed the signing of Udinese striker Beto for £30 million. The 25-year-old Guinea-Bissau native has notched double-digit goal returns in his past 2 seasons in Serie A and seems to be a hand-picked product by the Everton scouts. Fast, powerful and effective presser from the front, a player who performs relatively in line with his XG. From a financial standpoint, his wages should be extremely affordable, as he's rumoured to be currently earning €3,500 a week at Udinese. Everton have looked shaky in their opening few games of the season, unluckily beaten by Fulham but completely dismantled by Aston Villa in an error-ridden performance. That said, I believe they will do enough to survive, mainly due to the lack of quality in the bottom half of the Premier League this season. Sheffield United have lost their 2 best players in Ilya Ndiaye and Sander Berge. Luton have made some smart signings, but I don't think they have enough individual quality to drag them through. And Wolves desperately lack a goal scorer, and with a weakened squad, I don't think they'll be as defensively strong as last season. Defense wins championships, but goals keep you afloat in the Premier League, and if Calvert-Lewin can stay fit, or Beto and Chermiti can pick up the goals instead, then I think there is enough grit, determination and Dyche magic dust to keep Everton up for another year. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and leave a suggestion for one that you'd like to see next. Until then, I'll see you in a bit.